Welcome to another edition of The Way I See It with your host, Ralph Williams. And now, without further ado, Ralph Williams.
And good evening and welcome to another edition of Sports Corner. The Way I See It. My name is Ralph Williams. It's great to be here tonight, and we have a lot to talk about as well. Coming up later tonight, we have our new Top 10 segment, which we're also going to be doing as well. And we have a lot to talk about tonight, including the blast segment here of Bonehead, and I got a bunch of stuff there, and our key topics tonight as well, and my life story. Okay, I want to talk to you tonight about Hillcrest Farm in Richmond, Ohio. Contact Hillcrest Farm today at 740-346-5442, 740-632-2894. The reason why is because Hillcrest Farm has grain-fresh beef. All right, they don't have this stuff with coloring in it. They don't have any of this other stuff going on where they have, the type of stuff that the substitute additives in their meat. Their meat is fresh. All right. Also, they have some great package deals. Variety box, $195. You get 4 pounds of burgers, 10 pounds of ground beef, 2 packs of filet mignon, 2 roasts, and 10 steaks. The roast box, $200, 7 roasts, 30 pounds of ground beef. And the best one of them all is $95 for ground beef, and you get 20 packages of ground beef. So you can't beat that at all. And, so you head out to Hillcrest Farms today. And those numbers, again, are 740-346-5442, 740-632-2894, or you can reach them in an email, hillcrestfarmsohio@gmail.com. And also check out their website at www.hillcrestfarmsohio.com, and also on their Facebook page as well. All right, next, I'm going to talk to you today about Draft 412. That's Draft 412. And Draft 412 is a company that has all kinds of drafts on their website. So go on their website today, Draft 412, because I'll tell you, when you do that, you will get the best comprehensive information in regards to the draft, whether it be NFL or whether it would be anything. All right, whether it be the NHL, which is coming up, Major League Baseball, anything. Draft 412. Get on their website today. And they also have inexpensive memberships as well. All right, we're getting ready for our blast segment. Yeah. All right, we're going to talk right now about our blast segment. And also that's brought to you by here in our DJ Fun studios. DJ Fun weddings, parties, and special event. DJ Fun is a great DJ, 15 years or more of experience. Call him today. I got to tell you, he was telling me about a few weeks back, and I've said this many times. He was visiting with a couple, going and having a consultation with them for a wedding that he's putting together for them. And you know what? They told him, and this is the truth, $1,500 to $2,000. They looked at 5 DJs. 5. All right. And them 5 DJs came up with that price. And finally, they were able to get a hold of DJ Fun. And when they called him and when they found out what the price was, they contracted him. So call him today. The number is 412-545-4317. DJ Fun. A lot of experience, a lot of value, and a lot of fun. All right. Our blast segment tonight. I want to blast the Allegheny County Health Department. And the reason why I want to do this is about Mia Pizza. Okay. Mia Pizza, all right, is a pizza shop over on Baum Boulevard. And the interesting part about this is they inspected the place. They gave it a warning. They said the place was horrible and everything else. And then they go ahead, okay, and instead of closing the place down, they just go ahead and give them a, come on, Allegheny County Health Department. What is wrong with you? All right. Why are you doing this? All right. You should shut the business down. Okay. You're talking about mice feces. You're talking about all kinds of health department violations, and you keep the place open? What is wrong with you? Why didn't you put a lock on the door? Shut it down. Come on. That tonight is the way I see it. Next, the Homewood House management. You know what? The management of the Homewood House, in case you don't know where the Homewood House is, it's out in Homewood. All right. It is a high-rise building for disabled and senior citizens. All right. And what has happened there is they have a bed bug infestation. And when they went to management did nothing about it. And later on tonight, we're going to talk about management not doing anything, because I experienced that here in my building. All right. And I've brought that many times to your attention as well. But let's get back to the Homewood House. Bed bugs. People had to move out. People had to throw out belongings. They had to throw out their beds. They had to, that was a big time inconvenience. Do you understand what bed bugs is all about? If you do, then you know what I'm talking about. And the Homewood House management should be ashamed of themselves, just like every other management of every other apartment building in this town that does nothing about nothing. And that tonight is the way I see it. All right. Next, we're going to talk about the Brighton Health Center. Brighton Health Center doesn't want to pay their therapists. Now, therapist says, we're going on strike. Now, all of a sudden, here comes Brighton Health Center now. They want to sit down and talk. The power of striking, okay? But it should have never led to this, Brighton Health. Don't you have enough egg on your face from COVID? I guess you don't have enough egg on your face from COVID to understand that you should not, and I repeat, should not ever, when it comes to senior citizen and health or anybody's health, should put it in jeopardy by not paying your therapist. All right. You are the worst when you do stuff like that. That tonight is the way I see it. Next, the guy in Florida who assaulted an umpire because he didn't like what was going on in a baseball game. Are you kidding me? Are you joking with me? No, you're not joking, because you're doing it. All right. Why in the world would you even consider even doing that? All right. He assaulted a umpire who's trying to do his job for a baseball. He probably doesn't get paid that much. And he may even be doing it voluntarily, because people do volunteer to be umpires for baseball leagues. Okay. Especially those who have no money. All right. So why in the world would you do that? That's why I'm blasting you tonight, this guy in Florida. And I'm glad you got arrested for this. And you're banned for life from these games. And that tonight is the way I see it on that. All right. Next, the people who vandalized the Richland School District signs for the school board members who are running for re-election. Okay. Later on tonight, I'm going to tell you why I believe this is going on. All right. But first, I want to blast the vandals tonight. Why would you even consider doing this? If you got a problem with somebody, don't vandalize their property. Don't do anything derogatory. Go to them and say, hey, I don't like you. Okay? That's what I do. Go to them and say, I can't stand you. That's what I do. Okay? Instead of vandalizing someone's property or spray painting their names off of these things or whatever, if you don't like what they stand for, then vote for someone else. Vote them out. Okay? But don't do vandalism. That tonight is the way I see it. All right. Next, we're in our bonehead segment. The man who attacked the flight attendant after him and his wife were in the wrong seats. The flight attendant came up and said, you're in the wrong seats. All right, you need to get out of those seats. What did this guy do? He decides to assault this flight attendant over the fact that him and his wife had to change their seats. You know what? This is why I don't fly. All right? And you shouldn't either, because this is the type of stuff that's going on now on airplanes. It's really sad, but that's exactly what's going on airplanes. And that tonight is the way I see it. Next. All right. The Popeye employee who was fired for going viral for showing her boss and trashing and making threats on TikTok for her boss or their boss, because They didn't like their boss. Guess what? They got fired. That's a boneheaded move. That's the way I see it tonight. All right, next. All right, the Florida man who shot at a grocery store delivery driver because he was at the wrong place. Are you kidding me? What is wrong with you people that do this? That tonight is the way I see it. I say no more. All right. Next, the McDonald's franchisee, all right, who hired a 10-year-old worker to work in the McDonald's. You know what? That's a boneheaded move. Why would you even do that? And now you're in trouble because you broke labor laws. You violated youth laws. You violated all kinds of laws. That tonight is the way I see it. All right, next, we're going to talk about my life story. I had a doctor's appointment this week, which, I do that every month. I go to see my regular PCP. So it was a good appointment. It was great to see him because I have difficulty getting an appointment to see him because he's only there once a week at the facility. And that's because he has a lot on his plate, which I can understand. But, there we are with that. All right, next, the TV show. Thursday night, I taped another edition of The Way I See It. And you know what? I don't hate PCTV. I thank PCTV for letting me put my show on their TV station. But I have issues when they didn't have me live on Facebook. And I always push my shows. I promote them very well. And when I tell somebody, or I say to you, look, The Way I See It's going to be live on PCTV's Facebook page, and it's not there, I look bad. Okay? So PCTV, for some strange reason, was having issues with Zoom. They had issues with their phone lines, and they had issues with their Facebook page now, doing the live stream. Okay? But here's the thing that really bothers me, everybody. All right? Here's a station that coming in July, they want to charge us producers $50 an hour to use their studios. $50 an hour. Okay. It's not my fault that the cable companies don't want to give money. All right. Now, the cable companies have cut the revenues 30% to the community stations all across the country. It's not just here, all across the country. Some community stations, these community access channels, have survived on donations. PCTV has some big corporations that give money to them. I don't understand why this is difficult. Why is it that they have to throw it on the back of our producers? Because the executive director doesn't like, or doesn't want to do his job. All right, it's that simple. All right. So here we are in July. This is going to happen. But in the interim, I have to go without Facebook. I have to go without Zoom. I can't have guests come on Zoom. That inconveniences me as a producer. That inconveniences all my friends that are producers there. Okay? That inconveniences every producer that is there, that pays money to put our shows on there. All right? And then he wants us to go out and get underwriters to try to put stuff on our programs, to have underwriters on there, so we don't have to pay the $50 an hour. All right? And then he squeezes people who are making money. All right. Let's say, for instance, I have a nationally syndicated show, and they decide they're going to pick it up. Okay. He's going to try to squeeze me for cash. All right. I called down there today or yesterday, and I wanted to get some editing work done. You know what he told me? If somebody in the office has to do it for me, it's going to be $75. Because I'm trying to send my live streams here down to the station to play. All right. I can't do that because I'm not real good with editing. That's number one. And number two, I can't find anybody out there that wants to work. I've already experienced that problem once. Me and some friends, we were getting ready to start up our own internet channel. And what happened was we were getting ready to start up our own internet radio station, and we needed an editor to edit our stuff. Well, the editor decides that she's not going to return our emails and our phone calls. So what happens here is that we end up getting screwed. So with that now, I can't find anybody out here that can do this for me. I've reached out to some friends, but that's it. All right. So what I'm saying to you is this. and that is that this is what we're up against at PCTV. All right. So I had my TV show this week, and I didn't realize that for the 2 shows that I did, and I did Sports Corner and actually with Smoke and Jim Frazier and I, we do this every first Thursday of the month. We have a live call-in show. All right. But the way I see it, I tape it, all right, before I do the live call-in of Sports Corner. All right. And therefore, that is always live on PCTV's Facebook page, and it's not even posted on there either. So how am I supposed to watch it? I have to wait till it comes on. Sometimes that could take weeks. Okay. So that's some of my life story. But here's another thing too. My wife ordered some stuff off of Walmart. All right. And she ordered online on their website. And Walmart used to, I guess, go through the Postal Service. They used to go through UPS. They used to go through FedEx or whomever they went through. Well, I want to tell you something. If you're going to order online from Walmart, my suggestion to you is be prepared, because now they have a private delivery company delivering this stuff. I ordered a 4-piece luggage set, okay, because my wife and I are getting ready to go to Erie coming up this month for our anniversary. All right. It'll be 1-year wedding anniversary for us coming up soon. Okay. And so now we want to go to Erie, and we ordered this brand new 4-piece luggage. We got 1 piece. Then my wife attempts to call customer service. This is what we get from customer service, okay? Customer service tells my wife that they're going to give us that piece of luggage for free. We don't have to send it back, which was their fault that this happened to begin with. So who do they blame? The delivery company. Oh, well, they didn't pick it up right. They didn't grab the right stuff. They didn't do this. They didn't do that. This is not the first time I've had an issue with Walmart. I ordered some stuff one time off the sheet or off of their online, and I ended up having some issues with some stuff going on there as well. And what had happened was I had to call customer service, and then I call customer service, and they tell me, well, we really can't do anything for you. It was fraudulent. What had happened was somebody had hacked into my card, I guess, or whatever, decided to order stuff off of Walmart and sent it to me, and I never ordered it. Okay. So I found out from some people that stuff was going on too. All right. So my experience with Walmart, and then I had this private delivery company bring it. And when I went to send it back, they told me I'm stuck with it. All right. Then the lady that delivered it got ignorant with my wife. So what I'm telling you is, if you're going to order something from Walmart, be prepared. If you order something online, okay? That tonight's the way I see it about my life story. All right, let's get into our key topics tonight. First, I want to talk about the city of Pittsburgh and the new police chief, Larry Sciarrotto. Larry Sciarrotto was sworn in as the new police chief last week, or announced by Ed Gainey. Supposedly now, we have to wait till city council approves it. All right. So they had their meeting today. Tomorrow they have committee meetings, city council. I know their schedule. All right. They have their meeting tomorrow. They have their meeting tomorrow, and their general meeting tomorrow, and their committee meetings on Wednesday. All right. So what do you think about Larry Sciarrotto? I think he's a good candidate. I believe that he knows the system of the city of Pittsburgh police. He knows what has to be done. He knows what needs to be done. And there is a lot that needs to be done here. Okay? You have bad morale. You have police that are handcuffed. All right? And then on top of that, you have a shortage. And then you have police who are lazy. All right? I don't know if it's to their doing, but they're lazy. I've had a lot of dealings over the last 4 years with the city police. Not that I did anything wrong, is I was a victim of something. And every time that I try to go to the police about something, they give me some sob excuses why they can't do anything. Okay? And I made this comment, and I think it could be true, that a guy could fall and have a heart attack in front of 2 police officers, and they wouldn't do anything about it, and they would tell you to call 911. Okay? I'm going to give you an example. I go to church over at East Liberty at Eastminster Presbyterian Church. People come up the one way where our main door is on Station Street. They come up the one way every Sunday to go into Home Depot's parking lot. My pastor at the time, okay, and myself were getting out of our vehicles. And do you know that a car come racing up the street the wrong way on the cell phone and did not pay attention and almost wrecked into both of our cars? Okay. I went over, I saw two cars come up the one way. There was actually a police car over in front of the old Vento's Pizza there on Highland Avenue. Had somebody pulled over. It was two officers. I try to track them down. I'm yelling, I'm screaming. He didn't pay no attention to me at all. None. Then I ran into a Zone 5 police officer, and I said, hey, look, I says, can you please do something about this? You know what he told me? Call 911. About 6 years ago, my buddy and I were in a Pirate game. The band Chicago was playing afterwards. That's the only time I go to games, when there's concerts or giveaways. And I told you I don't pay for tickets. Okay, I refuse. All right, with Pirate tickets, I'm not going to go there. All right, but anyway, okay. What I'm saying is that what has happened is that the police department has gotten lazy, or something's wrong here. So I'm crossing the street at this crosswalk up by the old jail on Ross Street, and this car comes from the opposite direction, makes a turn, almost hits us. Me and my buddy. We're both in motorized scooters, because in case you're not aware, I am handicapped. Okay, so what has happened is that I have, and then I said to the officer, he was behind me. I says, officer, aren't you going to do anything about this? Aren't you going to call, like, get on the phone, call your guys, call your pals or whatever? You know what he told me? I went to court. I can't do that. You have to call 911. Okay. One day I was sitting out front here when we used to be able to have Post-Gazette print newspapers. There's not too many of that anymore. All right. I'm sitting outside reading the paper, and somebody decides they're going to come up and park right in front of the driveway of our building. Can't park there because we got to get emergency vehicles in and out if somebody's having a heart attack in here. So what happened was, it just so happened somebody had a medical issue, and his paramedics had to park outside on the sidewalk. Barely could find a place to park to come into the building because that car was parked there. Two sergeants walking up to Zone 3. I said to them, look, what are you going to do about this here? You don't see this? You know what they said? That's parking's problem. This is the kind of stuff that has to stop with the Pittsburgh police. All right? And I don't want to hear I can't do nothing about it. I don't want to hear, I can't tow a car away that's illegally parked because the owner has to be here. Okay? I don't want to hear that either. There was a car parked in front of our driveway. I was outside one night. It was a beautiful night out. I decided to go sit out in the front of the building. Okay? Car parked right in front of our, again, driveway. Okay? Police came. Okay? And the security called the cops. The police came. Do you know they wouldn't tow that car away? They went into the bar where they assumed the person was and went and got him and had him come and go. This is why our city loses money. All right? They don't do anything about anything at all. Nothing. And that's why last year I said we live in a nothing society. And it's true. All right, real quick here. We have a comment from Eric. He said, Ralph handled the dull life crowd and rose above that to put on good sports shows back then. Sounds like a nice anniversary trip. Yes, it is, Eric. Thank you. And I appreciate you watching the program and commenting as well. All right. So let's see what this new police chief does. Is he going to do a good job? All right. Okay. Because I have given Ed Gainey all the slack in the world. And that's because I'm friends with Ed Gainey. But I'm not giving him any more slack because he hasn't done what he was supposed to do about housing authority of the city of Pittsburgh. He hasn't done anything. Okay. The report is still sitting on his desk. The committee came back, and through a source of mine, I found this out. The committee came back and said that Castor Binion, the CEO of the Housing Authority of the city of Pittsburgh, and the whole executive office down there should be fired. He hasn't looked over the report yet. And not only has he not only looked over the report, he hasn't come up to a press conference. But we're worried about the art department. We're worried about plastic bags. We're not worried about the fact that my wife got assaulted in this building twice and no tenant was evicted. Okay? I've told this story many times here, and I don't want to tell it no more because it's getting to become a broken record. But I'm telling you this because there are new people who watch the program. All right? And I know you're tired of hearing me talk about this, but it's because it's a problem and it needs to be talked about. And if you live in a city and you have somebody that lives in one of these buildings that's a housing authority of the city of Pittsburgh, God help you. Okay. And I do this because that's exactly what it is. The management of all these buildings here don't do anything. They have one person who handles 5 buildings, and they do nothing about nothing at all. Zero. Okay. And this is where we are right now. This is exactly where we are right now with this. I've asked Ed Gainey. He promised me December 18th he was going to do something. He hasn't done anything. Okay. He hasn't read the report. He hasn't done anything at all. And here we are. We're going into May. And he promised me February he was going to do something. Okay. So now we have a new police chief. So my question to you is this. Are we going to be able to handle this new police? Is this new police chief going to do what needs to be done? Not only just to clean up the city, but to bring the police department to the standard that they're working for the citizen, whether it's jaywalking, whether it's illegally parked. This is why the city's broke. That's why the city complains they don't have any money, okay? Despite the fact that they got a ton of money from the American Rescue Fund, all right? They're not fixing their police vehicles, all right? Lee Schmidt was just hauled to the carpet last week by Anthony Coghill, who's the city councilman in charge of public safety. And he's running for county treasurer, all right? If you can't get anything done on city council, what's the use of being there? And if that's the case with Anthony Coghill, I don't blame him. Especially the situation with the salt trucks this past winter. All right, where his area couldn't get handled at all. When we had, fortunately for this city, and fortunately for Mayor Gainey, and fortunately for the citizens of the city of Pittsburgh, we had a pretty mild winter. Because if it would have been heavy duty, we would have had big problems. Okay? All right, that's tonight is the way I see it. Brighton Rehab and their dispute with their therapist. That's sad. Why in the world would you even think about having a dispute with the people in your health agency that keep your agency rolling, or your hospital rolling, your nursing home rolling, or anything like that? Health professionals should be paid the most. And I'll tell you why. Because they put their lives on the line for you. They're there when you need them. They should be. But now they're not, because as usual, just like everything else, school teachers, police departments, whatever, nobody wants to work. Okay, so it all boils down to the laziness, the nothingness, and nobody cares. All right? Nobody cares but they do care, and they get upset. Oh, my mom is in the hospital and she can't get the right care because they're shorthanded. Okay. Why in the world? See, you're the type of person, some of you out there, that would say to me, oh, Ralph, I put my mom in a hospital and they were shorthanded and they couldn't do anything. You know what? That's your fault. Because if you're one of those people who are lazy, that's your fault. Okay? If you're not lazy, then it's not your fault. But there are people out there who are totally lazy right now because you still think and you still have this theory because you're so high up on something and you're drinking too much or something is affecting your judgment of your brain that you just don't realize that what you got in COVID is not coming back. So stop sitting there waiting for a dream. And you're not going to be able to work under the table because you can't. All right. So here we are. Okay. Well, once again, we have an issue with healthcare workers. Facilities don't want to pay. Hospitals don't want to pay. And now people have to walk out and go out on strike and inconvenience their life even more because they can't get the right amount of money that they deserve. The money that they deserve for taking care of people. And now a therapist's job is even worse now because we have a mental health crisis in this entire country, including it's the worst here in this city, Allegheny County in Western Pennsylvania. If you watched my show last week, and you can watch it again, I spoke to somebody in mental health. And they told me the situation with why the state hospitals were closed. Check that show out. It's my archive version on my YouTube channel. Okay. I'm not going to go into it today because I said about it last week. So I want you to go into that show. And then while you're there, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, please do. I need 2 more to make 100. I'm at 98 right now. Call your friend, call your cousin, call somebody. All right. Get them to subscribe to my YouTube channel. All right. But Brighton Rehab has so much egg on their face. In case you're not aware, I'll tell you why. During COVID, they had an issue, and it was so bad that Dictator Wolf had to send the National Guard in to straighten it out. Okay? And that is what has happened. They have had to send in the National Guard. And Brighton Rehab has had some other issues. They were shut down by the health department and numerous other things that have gone on. All right? So here we are. Now they don't want to pay their therapists. Okay? Everybody got money from the American Rescue Plan. Why don't you use it to pay your therapists? You need to give them more money because they're healthcare workers. And I have an issue when it affects anybody's health. Therapists are needed more now than ever before. And for you to do this, that's not right, Brighton Rehab. That's why I blasted you tonight. Okay? And you need to get your house in order because this stuff happens again, and you're going to have more egg on your face. That's the way I see it tonight. I forgot to mention, last night I went to go pick a friend up last night. I've been helping out. He doesn't have a car. All right. So anyway, I had to go pick him up in McKeesport last night, and I was driving past Kennywood. And you're not going to believe this, but it was lit up. Big time. They were closed, but it was lit up. The outside was lit up. Usually it's dark. The parking lot lights are out, everything. The lights were on, and they had lights on in where the gated area is, and now there's a West Mifflin Police substation there. Kennywood, and you know, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, okay? Despite the fact I have said things about you in the past, okay? I got to give you credit where it's due. And the reason I say I got to give you credit where it's due, Kennywood, I was impressed with what I saw from the outside. It's lit up nice, okay? You have that in the West Mifflin Police substation there, unlike the city of Pittsburgh that was supposed to have one downtown and on the south side, and we see that hasn't happened, okay? But Kennywood has a substation for West Mifflin Police there, and there's always a car there. So that way, West Mifflin Police don't have to, come from wherever to get to a call. Somebody's always there. And that's nice because Kennywood got rid of their police department when the Spanish people took over. All right. Well, I'm sorry. The Spanish people kept them there. This new Indian group that took over. And there's a lot of people that don't realize Kennywood was sold about 5 years ago again or more. And what had happened was when this group bought this, they dissolved the Kennywood Police Department and they went into security officers. Now they have a car that says Kennywood on it. It's a security officer car. Okay. So what I'm saying to you is I'm impressed with what I saw from the outside of Kennywood. And you know, I'm not going back to Kennywood because I'm upset with them. And I blasted them last week. And again, you got to watch that show. I blasted them last week about the fact that they're fighting with the Pierogi Festival people. And I think that's wrong. All for a greedy dollar. All for $1. And you know what's funny? You just lost a ton of people. There are people that would only go to Kennywood like myself just for the Pierogi Festival. And now we have to suffer because of Kennywood. We have to suffer because they refused to sit down and negotiate the right agreement to have the Pierogi Festival there. Instead, they were worried about the greedy buck on the tickets. Okay? All right. And you can't tell me that there's not enough security there. County police are there. Sheriff's department's there. I saw it with my own eyes. You understand what I'm saying? So the Pierogi Fest people have all their ducks in a row. And it's not like Kennywood who don't. But I was impressed with what I saw from the outside. I will not go inside the park because I'm frustrated with them about the Pierogi Fest. And you should too if you're a fan of the Pierogi Fest. Because now there isn't a Pierogi Fest this year because Kennywood stuck it to them. And at the last minute, they can't find a place to put it on. Thanks, Kennywood. Now you make your image look even worse. Security, raising tickets, not dealing with handicapped people, not having a ticket where handicapped people can come in. I'll go to Waldemar up in Erie. At least up there, I paid $10 to get in. $10 to get in. Okay? They have a rate for handicapped and senior citizens, $10 to get in Waldemar up in Erie. I go in there, I play games, and I have a blast. Okay? The only problem with Waldemar is they don't have rentals for scooters. All right? It's bad enough I would have to pay $40 for a ticket or $50 for a ticket there to go in, and I don't ride. Then I'd have to pay $20 and then another $20 for my wife's scooter. So that's $40. And probably the price went up on those because they got new ones. Okay? You see what I'm getting at? All right, that's the way I see it about Kennywood. St. Joseph Church saga in Bloomfield. Do you know St. Joseph's Church in Bloomfield was supposed to be spared? All right, and I'm very frustrated with the Catholic Diocese, and I'm calling out Jennifer Ankowiak. And the reason I'm calling her out tonight is because of all people, Jen Ankowiak, who everyone loved when she was on Channel 11 News or on Channel 2 or whatever, wherever she was. Everybody loved her in this town. Oh, Jennifer Ankowiak, she's the greatest thing since sliced bread as a reporter. Oh, Jennifer Ankowiak. Now you work for the Catholic Diocese and you act like somebody else. Okay? What happened to you, Jen? What happened? Okay? You work for the Catholic Diocese, and then you refuse to take any interviews. All right? You refuse to talk to people about this. Then you went ahead, you went into Bloomfield, and you told the people of Immaculate Conception that, oh, well, we're closing your church down. And then you didn't even notify the fathers, okay, of these churches that you were doing this. And you did it at the last minute, which really is a kick in the butt. So Immaculate Conception had their last service. They were told the church is closing down because it is in need of repair. It's going to be over $1 million, and they can't handle 2 churches. So they need repairs at St. Joe's. So here was the plan according to the father of St. Joseph's. He says that the Catholic Diocese told him that they were going to sell Immaculate Conception. They had a buyer. I was told from a source of mine, and I got friends in Bloomfield that tell me everything. Even though I don't live there anymore, I'm from Bloomfield. I'm a native of Bloomfield, of the Bloomfield area of Pittsburgh. But I still have friends there that tell me things. There is nothing that don't go on in Bloomfield that myself or my mother don't know about. Okay? I found out from someone, and this is an interesting case here, that they were going to sell Immaculate Conception, and they had a buyer, and the buyer was supposed to be Allegheny Health System. But I don't know what happened. I don't know if the deal fell through. Allegheny didn't give enough money. I don't know. But I do know this much. The Catholic Diocese has done it again. You are supposed to work for the Lord and you lie. Who works for the Lord and they lie? The Catholic Diocese. Okay? And I'm very disappointed in you. Well, of course, I shouldn't be, because we had issues with these priests molesting boys and all this other stuff that went on in the Catholic Church. That's why you don't have anybody going to the Catholic Church. Okay? And now you got egg on your face yet again. And I'm sorry, God, if I'm talking about people that serve you, but this is not right at all, and it's disrespectful to the people of Bloomfield. Okay? Because it's disrespectful to the fact that Immaculate Conception Church was a thriving church, and they closed down St. Joe's and used it for a part-time church. Okay? You could rent it for special events. They used it for overflow or whatever they were doing over there. Okay, that was when Immaculate Conception merged with, they tore down St. Lawrence O'Toole and sold that building. That was all part of one group called the St. Maria of the Goretti. They shut down and tore down Holy Family, St. Karen's down in Lawrenceville. I could name you a whole bunch of churches. St. Augustine are all together in that St. Maria of the Goretti congregation. Okay, so what happened? They said, well, we're going to take the sale. They didn't tell the people this, though, but they told the father, who's the father or the priest or the pastor or the reverend or whatever, they, all right, in the Catholic Church. They told him that this is what we're going to do. We're going to sell Immaculate Conception, and we have a buyer, and we're going to take the money, and guess what we're going to do? We're going to put it into buildings, fixing up St. Joseph's, which is going to cost over $1 million to fix and keep the church open. Now, get this. Immaculate Conception still there, hasn't been sold. St. Joseph's closing up, and everybody has to go down to St. Augustine down in Lawrenceville now to go to church. Is this the way that a diocese of Catholic faith, and this is why the Catholic faith is where it is. This is why. And this is disgraceful and disgusting. Okay? It really is disgraceful and disgusting that the fact that the Catholic Diocese of Pittsburgh cannot be honest with people. Shame on you, because this is wrong. To do that to the Bloomfield community who has supported these churches for many, many years. I understand attendance is dwindling. I understand that. But you did it to yourself when you didn't clean up the mess of the preachers molesting boys and girls or whatever they were doing. Okay? And now you had to eat it because you ended up with a whole bunch of lawsuits that actually just was just so phenomenal that it's putting the Catholic Church broke. Whose problem is that? Yours, Catholic Church. That's whose problem it is. That tonight is the way I see it. All right. Next, Mayor Gainey. And one other thing I wanted to tell you here. The people are petitioning, all right, the bishop. And they're taking a petition. And I wouldn't doubt this because they did this around here. I wouldn't doubt if they take it to the Pope in Rome to stop this nonsense with the way they do things in this town with the Catholic Church. Stop this nonsense. Because there was a church here who didn't want to merge with the church up in Mount Washington. And what had happened was they decided to take a petition to the Pope. Okay? And that's exactly what happened there. And that's the way I see it tonight. But next, Mayor Gainey versus UPMC. Mayor Gainey is stuck between a rock and a hard place here. UPMC is the number one employer in this town. They create jobs all over the place. Okay? I've criticized them. I've gotten upset with them. I've blasted them on this show. And I've talked about them because they deserve it. Okay? Now, UPMC is supposed to be, quote, a nonprofit. Okay? They are supposed to be a nonprofit organization. They don't act like one, but they are. For years and years and years, the city and the county let UPMC be tax exempt. All right? Mayor Gainey is trying to see to it that all groups or all or companies pay their fair share of taxes. And apparently, according to him, in an audit that he had done, UPMC is not paying their fair share. Okay? Now, my question is this. Do you want to, Ed Gainey, do you want to mess with the company that provides the most jobs in this region? Okay? So Mayor Gainey now decides he's not going to go to any more UPMC functions. So he uses the excuse with the media that he had another obligation on the night they had international people here to talk about the international health crisis, I guess, with COVID and some other things, okay? That was here in Pittsburgh. He didn't attend. Mayor Gainey did not attend. All right? So therefore, here we are, okay? Now he doesn't go to this function, and everybody's upset. And I don't blame people for being angry because technically UPMC is our number one employer. But that doesn't mean that we have to kiss their ass. Okay? That doesn't mean we have to kiss it so bad that we let them do whatever they feel like. In other cities, you could be the number one employer, but you pay your fair share of taxes and you know how to act like a nonprofit. UPMC does neither, according to this report, okay? They do none of the kind. And they don't act like a nonprofit. They act like a bunch of jerks. And I'm a victim of that. Okay? I don't know if you've ever heard this story before, but the night that my wife died, despite the fact that I gave Shadyside Hospital's gift shop, and I've given not only just their gift shop, but I have also given their cafeteria, their vending machines, and everything else a bunch of business. My wife was in and out of the hospital. My first wife, before she's up with the Lord now, all right, was there for a considerable amount of time. And throughout the whole entire year, she ended up in and out of, or a year and a half, actually. She ended up in and out of Shadyside Hospital, nursing home hospital, rehab, constantly to Shadyside Hospital. Okay. So therefore, I had to go there. I went to the gift shop, spent money on newspapers, bought gifts. I went to the cafeteria numerous times to eat, put money in the vending machines, and parking. Paid several amounts of dollars for parking. The night that my wife died, I had to pay $38 for parking. I don't think that's fair. Okay? So I called down the executive office downtown in the useless steel building. And you know what they told me? Well, we can't, Mr. Williams, we really can't give you free parking because then we have to do it for everybody else. But that's the point. Do you understand the point that I made here? And you're supposed to be a nonprofit. If you're a nonprofit, why are you squeezing people for money? Do you catch what I'm saying? So UPMC will tell you, if you call down the corporate headquarters, they'll say to you, well, we have to run this like a business, but you're a nonprofit. Is that the way a nonprofit is supposed to behave? No. A nonprofit is not supposed to behave like that. Okay? I have nothing against their hospital employees. I have nothing against their doctors. I have issues with the executive people who run the UPMC, all right, and they act like a bunch of greedy pigs. Okay? And Mayor Gainey is exposing them. And that's the one good thing so far that I'm happy that he's done. Okay? And there have been some people who have tried to attack UPMC and have lost. In fact, it went back to a few administrations trying to attack them about paying taxes. They went and got a lawyer and tried to sue the city. Okay? So I don't blame Mayor Gainey for being angry, which, of course, that's not a bad thing. Okay? And here we are with this situation with this. All right? So who do you think will win? I doubt the city would win again. Maybe. But you know what? If I'm Ed Gainey, I might have think again because, we can't do that to them. They are the number one employer. They're still going to be the number one employer in this region, whether they pay more taxes or not. Just like everybody was upset. Well, now, yeah, I see the difference of what people were saying. When we had gas drilling here, and everybody went, we can't put taxes on them. They'll leave. No, they won't. They need the Marcellus Shale. It's here. It's in this state. The most of it is here. Okay? And when Marcellus Shale was huge, everybody said, the governor shouldn't have gave them a tax break because, but they were creating excellent jobs. And they didn't walk away because of Marcellus Shale, or they didn't walk away because the state thought about putting a tax on them. I think that they should put a tax on them now and use it to pay for public transportation. Okay? I think that they should put a tax on the casinos and make them pay for public transportation because the public transportation in this town takes the people to the casinos. I seen it. I seen it in Wheeling, West Virginia. I seen it in Erie, and I've seen it in Pittsburgh. That the public transit system takes people to the casinos to work. So why not? They make $800 and some million this last quarter. Okay. We can't pick on the casino. They give us $7 million a year for the cost for the bond or the note they wrote on PPG Paints Arena. No, we can't do that. Oh, yes, you can. Okay. Tax the liquor system. They're number one in the world, number one in this country for liquor sales is Pennsylvania. Okay. So why not put a tax on them? Why not put a tax on to cover public transportation? Why not? Okay. If you want a drink, you're going to pay. And some people take the bus to go get the booze. So why not? All right. Put it on Marcellus Shale. Put it on the gas drilling. Yes. Should have been done a long time ago. They even said Range Resources was interviewed about this, and they even came out and said, and I quote, they're not leaving Pennsylvania because they know what a vital asset Pennsylvania is to their business, whether or not they get taxed or not. Catch what I'm saying? This is your politicians, everybody. All right? All right. That's the way I see it tonight. Parents. All right. I have an issue with this because there are parents in the Norwin School District that want to ban certain books in the library. Parents out here today do not take care of their kids properly. Some of them, most of them. I'd say about half of this country's parents don't take care of their kids right. They let them do whatever they feel like it. They treat them like friends instead of parents. Okay? So here we are. Here we are. They want to squawk about books at the library when their kids are taking cell phones to school and using them in school. And the school district has to confiscate them because they're constantly using them. Okay? I guess instead of worrying about your kid with the cell phone and other nonsense, you're worried about a child who watches stuff on TV that is of swear words, cuss words, bad example for the child, kids 12 years old, 11, 10 even, that do this, okay? Parents that do this for their, with their kids. They don't care. They want them to go out. They want them to go up to their room so they can have time to themselves, okay? I don't blame them. But don't do it that way, okay? You're going to squawk about books, but you don't complain about your kid's cell phone that they use to get on TikTok, Facebook, and all this other stuff. And I bet you half of those parents that are complaining about this, that's what they're doing. That's what their kids do. But you're going to complain about a couple books when you let them watch things on TV that's unacceptable to a child, that you let them do whatever they feel like with a cell phone. You let them go wherever they want. You let them have unprotected sex and get pregnant at 16 years old with some of these female kids, but you just don't care. But you're going to worry about books at the library that you want banned. That you want banned. And you're going to squawk and complain and get mad and cry like little babies and everything else about this. And to me, that's unacceptable because you should look at yourself in the mirror before you go to any school and complain about books. Don't complain about something that you yourself don't even do with your child. I would bet $1 to a dime that probably half of those kids, for those parents that are complaining, are some of the worst. Okay? So don't care. You know what? A library is there to have books for you to read. It's education. Okay? Do you say anything about books about sex that tell your child about the birds and the bees? Oh, no, wait, you want to do that. But you don't. You don't tell them about it, and they go out and do it anyway. Okay? So what I'm saying is, everyone, is the fact that they shouldn't complain in Norwin about at all about these books, these parents, when their kids are probably not the right, don't do things the right way. That tonight is the way I see it. And that is our key topics for the night. All right. All right. Let's talk about a few other things here tonight. Let's get into our top 10. As you know, we have a new segment here now. It's called the Top 10s. I was going to talk about the election, but I don't have enough time. I had 2 politicians on in the last 2 weeks. I was trying to get Dave Fawcett on today. His aide, now listen to this. His aide works another job, and they all do, because they don't make enough money or they're greedy. All right. His aide or his press secretary or media person. And probably this is why I can't get these people on here. But you know what? When you jerk me around and you don't return my phone calls and my emails, once again, please listen to what I'm saying. You will get the wrath on this program. Capiche? You know what capiche means in Italian? I have somebody watching right now that does. I know what it is because I was taught it my whole life. Okay? My dad is Irish. My mom is Italian. I grew up in an Italian family because my dad was never in my life. Okay? So I know some words, and one of them is capiche. All right? So if you are a politician that has an aide that doesn't return people's phone calls to be on this program, and I called her last week and she goes, well, Ralph, I can't talk to you here. I'm at my other job and I'm not allowed to talk about this here. I'll call you later in the afternoon. Never called me. Today, never called me. And Dave Fawcett is running for county executive. He's one of several. You have a bunch of people. John Weinstein, you have Michael Lamb. And now we're going to get all these people because Michael Lamb now is doing a commercial with Richie Fitzgerald. I endorse Michael Lamb, even though we didn't see eye to eye in the past. We're going to do. What are you talking about, Rich? You haven't done anything. Look at the Schumann Center debacle. Look at the jail. Look at the homelessness in Allegheny County. You know, part of this problem downtown is your fault too, because you should have had police down there. Okay? Why didn't you get on the sheriff to get some people down there instead of chasing down people who are supposedly deadbeat dads? And they're not. My friend went through that. I understand what he's talking about. Okay? You catch what I'm saying? All right? Oh, he's the greatest. He could be a great county executive. Really? I know Michael Lamb's done some great things as city controller. He's been a great watchdog for that. You ever hear the old thing, like, for instance, I'll give you an example, ragu. What's ragu specialist for? Spaghetti sauce. I'm not saying it's the best, and it's not, because I don't eat ragu anymore. I haven't eaten ragu in a long time. But when ragu came out with Alfredo sauce and cheese sauce, I made macaroni and cheese once with it, and guess what? I was told to tell ragu to stick to what you know. Okay? Anytime somebody goes out of their element like that, I'm always, if it doesn't work, stick to what you know. Michael Lamb, stick to what you know, being city controller. You do that. Okay? Because there's a lot of people in this county that are glad to see Rich Fitzgerald stepping down, and I'm one of them. Okay? I am one of them. And I'm glad he's done. He's exhausted his terms. He can go off into the sunset. Well, at least I hope he doesn't do like Bill Peduto. Oh, I'm going to go out of town and travel abroad for about 2 years. You won't see me again. Then he's in a bar fight over Cappies. Yeah, right. Got some political job here. What happened, Bill? You run out of money? Spent too much of it at Cappies? Couldn't travel abroad like you said you were going to do? Okay? At least not yet. He hasn't come on and said, oh, you know what? I think I'm going to travel to China and I'm going to spend the next 8 years there. Okay? Do you catch what I'm saying? It is time for some new blood as county executive. But it's not good for Dave Fawcett's image when his media person or the person that's in charge of this doesn't return a media person's phone calls. And you know what, Dave? I was going to vote for you, but if this is the way your employees treat people, I don't know. You understand? I don't know whether or not you're capable of being county executive if this is the way your employees treat people. So you think about that one time, Dave. And you think about that your employee didn't return my phone call. I was trying to get you on this program tonight because I was on a roll. I had two politicians that were running for election. I was going to continue to have them on all the way up to the way I see it before next Tuesday's election. And I struck out trying to get somebody on. You can't find these people. They have these emails that don't work. You call their campaign staff. They never call you back. Corey Mosley's another one. Oh, Ralph, I'm so excited. I want to be on your TV show. Yeah, it says, I don't know if I want to be on your podcast, but I want to be on your TV show. Called two of his assistants that he gave me numbers for, and I've never gotten a phone call back. And I've reached out to them twice, and I also emailed them 3 times. Can't get a Corey Mosley on this program. Not even on my TV show. And I had Bethany Hallam on last Thursday when I recorded The Way I See It for TV. Okay? At least Bethany Hallam, who's the Allegheny County Councilwoman at large, she's running again for the same office, had the decency to be on both of my programs. And instantly she said yes. I didn't have to go through someone's assistant, the assistant to the assistant in a movie theater or whatever. I didn't have to go through none of that. Immediately she came on. Immediately she was on both shows with me, both the TV and on here on the podcast every Monday night at 7 o'clock. Philip Roberts, I had him on last week. He's running for district justice out in Highland Park. I had him on last week. And I was trying to get one of the county executive people on here. Oh, Sarah Amarado's people. Oh, listen to this one, everybody. Okay. I tried to get her on when this all started last year. I tried to get her on. Her assistant asked me for copies of this show. I sent it to him through the email and got no answer after that. Okay? So everyone who wants to blow me off, one last time I'm going to say this so that you understand, Kabish, I will expose you on this program if you do not return my phone calls and my emails, especially if I really want you on it, because what you're telling me is you either don't like me or you want to duck me because you're afraid I'm going to ask you tough questions. And I do ask tough questions. Okay? All right? I can't get a soul on here to tell me anything about the Post-Gazette strike. And I even went through friends and contacts that I have within the union. I can't get anybody on. They're either too busy or I can't return your email because I don't have time, or I can't pick the phone up for 2 seconds and say, Ralph, no, I don't want to be on your show. I'm tired of the excuses, and I'm not going to put up with it anymore. Maybe other media types will. I will not. I will not. And I don't put up with it at all. And I'm not going to. Darren Kelly, who is the head of the Allegheny County Labor Council. I've reached out to him many times. He's never returned my call. Many times. To talk about the Post-Gazette strike. Didn't even bother to return my phone call. And that's right, I'm exposing him too. Okay? This is where we are, folks. This is where we are. All right? And June 20th on Beaver County Radio is where I'm going to be with Smokin' Jim Frazier, and we're doing Sports Corner 5 to 6 p.m. every single Tuesday night, starting June 20th. So all you out there who are sports show hosts all across the entire region, you better look out because I'm coming. The forgotten son is no more, and I've had enough. And I'm coming for you. Okay? I am tired of being disrespected. I am tired of being stuck in the butt. It's getting old, and now it's time for me. It's time for me to do something, and I'm doing it. June 20th, Beaver County Radio. Okay? 99.3, 95.7 FM, AM 1230, and 1460 AM as well. All right. June 20. Put it on your calendar. Beaver County Radio. If you can't get it, I'll be live on their Facebook page. Yeah, I'm the king of social media when it comes to sports. Okay. And not only that, you can also get on their app on your phone. You can download their app and listen to the show. Or you can go and Google, and here's what I suggest you do. Go and Google, and it's free. Okay? Go on Google and either download TuneIn, which is a service that you can get radio stations from and listen to shows, or go to Radio Station USA. That's the one I use when I want to listen to my friends who have a show on Thursday, 5 to 6 p.m. on WKHB, my friend Claudia Rosano and Steve Mancini. Okay. They do an Italian Impact show on WKPA Radio, 620 a.m. Okay. And they're on so many FM frequencies. Oh, 94.1 is the one I'm familiar with. I don't know the other FM dials, but 94.1 and AM 620, WKHB every Thursday, 5 to 6 p.m. Claudia Rosano and Steve Mancini, the Italian Impact Radio Show. Okay. And I listen on that radio stations USA. So get on .com. So get on that website or that or thing there. And it's a streaming thing. And then once you get on it, you punch up what station you want. Okay. And it'll come up and you push, and then the station will come up and you push the arrow to turn it on. And it'll be a pause for about 5 seconds. And then it'll come on. And it's free. You don't have to download nothing. Okay. You don't have to wait until the commercial's done. You punch it up and it works. Okay. All right. So there's a suggestion for you if you want to listen to Sports Corner, the radio edition. And speaking of Claudia Rosano, I'm going to have him, and I already have Smoking Jim Frazier with me, and I'm going to have Luther Dupree on, and they're going to talk about the Boxing Authority show that they do on PCTV, Channel 21 Comcast, 47 Verizon Cable in the Pittsburgh or Allegheny County area. In the greater Pittsburgh area, it's on. You can catch them on Channel Box, and you can catch them on the Fight Network. And also, they're about to be on a few other networks as well. The Boxing Authorities, they talk boxing big time, and they're going to talk boxing with me on June 20th, okay? The day for my debut show on Beaver County Radio. I'm coming, guys. I told you I was. Either we can work together or we can work against each other. Well, guess what? Since you didn't want to reach out to me, help me out, you didn't want to have me on your shows. You didn't want to reach out, throw the olive branch out, and have me on your TV shows either, or your little excursions on Sunday night. We all know what those are. Okay. All right. So, fine, I'll do it myself, and that's exactly what I'm doing. So I'll compete against you since you don't want to work with me. How you like that? All right. Let's get in our top 10. Tonight, we're going to do top 10 small rural towns to buy a home. Number 10, Watford, North Dakota. Okay. Next, Warden, Texas is at number 9. All right. Dripping Springs, Texas is at number 7. Whitestown, Indiana is at number 6. Cave Springs, Arkansas is at number 5. Number 4, Thompson City Creek, Oregon. Number 3, Cherokee, Iowa. Number 2, Jacksonville, Oregon. I didn't even know there was a Jacksonville, Oregon until I found this top 10 of top 10 rural small towns to buy a home. Okay. And this is based on crimes, jobs, population. You understand what I'm saying? That's what this is based on. All right. And weather, too. Some people don't want to put up with the cold weather. Some people like cold weather and don't want to deal with the heat and don't want to deal with the meatheads involved in it. Okay? And the high taxes and everything, too. All right. Number 1. Are you ready? There's number 1. You're not going to believe this, but it's the truth. The number 1 town, a small rural town to buy a home in is Woblin, Wyoming. All right. And I know you probably don't know where 90% of these places are, and I don't. I definitely do not. I forgot about number 8. I skipped to number 7. Riceville, West Virginia. Okay. Riceville, West Virginia is where we are. All right. Okay. Next, I want to go over the 2023 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductions so far. Rage Against the Machine. George Michael. Remember him? He died, drug overdose, was dealing drugs for a while. Got in trouble. His career ended when he got caught in a men's bathroom doing some things you shouldn't be doing with another male in there in the stall. okay, in the Beverly Hills bathroom, and he got caught. Okay. Willie Nelson. Willie Nelson just turned 90 years old this year. Can you believe that? I would have never thought Willie Nelson would live to be 90, all because of the smoke, the pot he smokes. So maybe smoking pot does help you to live a long time, don't you think? All right, next, Missy Elliott. Those of you, I had a guy on Facebook who's a friend of mine, and he's, older, and he said, "Who's Missy Elliott?" Well, I'll tell you who Missy Elliott is. She is a R&B rap singer who has done stuff with Britney Spears and many other people. Okay, in fact, her and Christina Aguilera did a remake of that song, "The Car Wash." Remember that song? Yeah, they did a remake of it. Okay, Missy Elliott's done work with some rappers over the years, and she's done her own thing back in the 90s. She was very popular in the 90s. All right, next, Kate Bush. All right, also, Bonnie Raitt had to cancel her tour because she's sick. She's got some health issues. And also, Gordon Lightfoot passed away this week. So that's our music part of the show tonight. I don't normally go into that, but I figure I'd let you know about that as well. All right, let's talk about our sponsor here, Hillcrest Farms. Let's talk about them for a minute. Hillcrest Farm up in Richmond, Ohio. It's only 45 minutes from Pittsburgh. You need to go take your kids and go out there, take a little ride out there and get one of their beef packages, okay? They have the variety box at $195. You get 4 pounds of burgers. You get 10 pounds of ground beef. You get 2 packs of filet mignon, and you get 2 roasts and 10 steaks. $195. You're not going to beat that anywhere. You got these companies out here, this meat company, that meat company, this meat company, that meat company. I have not seen anything better than this for package deals for meat. Next, a roast box, $200. You get 7 roasts, 30 pounds of ground beef, $200. Hey, you can have a roast every Sunday and invite the family over. There you go. How about that? All right. Ground beef box, my favorite, $95. You get 20 pounds of ground beef. You make meatballs, meatloaf, sloppy Joe. A lot of things you can do with that if you use your imagination. Burgers, you can make a lot with that 20 pounds of ground beef, and it's fresh. It's fresh ground-based beef right from the farm, okay? It doesn't have all these additives and everything else to them. Give them a call today, 740-346-5442, 412-632-2894. Call them today or email them at hillcrestfarmsohio@gmail.com for directions, and or check on their website, www.hillcrestfarmsohio.com, and they have a Facebook page as well, Hillcrest Farm. I want to talk to you also tonight about our other sponsor, Draft 412. Draft 412 is a website that covers all aspects of sports drafts, NBA, baseball, hockey, football. They just got done with the NFL draft. I had one of the guys from Draft 412, Joe Kuglis, on my show many times to talk about the Steeler draft. Okay, he was just on last Tuesday. We did a post-draft show. All right. So get on their website, Draft 412, and check them out. They have low memberships. You can get a whole month membership for $9 and get access to all of that stuff. Downloading their app. They will automatically get a subscription now. Okay, $9 a month. You can get a subscription to Draft 412. It covers all kinds of draft aspects. All right. Also, I want to talk about our studio sponsor, DJ Fun. DJ Fun has been DJing for over 15 years. And DJ Fun will not charge you $2,000, $1,500, none of that stuff, not even close. Call DJ Fun today, 412-545-4317. Graduation season's coming up. Birthday parties, summer picnics, corporate events, anything. Call DJ Fun today, 412-545-4317. Call today. Don't delay. Call today. All right. Just a few announcements. Tomorrow night, Sports Corner with myself and Smoking Jim Frazier right here on our 4 platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. Tomorrow night, our guest will be Bernard Clark Jr., the head coach at Robert Morris. And then later on at 9 o'clock, we will have J.C. Allen coming on to talk about the Pitt players that got drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He'll also talk with us about the draft as a whole as well. And we'll be talking about the Pirates and their slide. We'll see what they do tonight, and we'll report it tomorrow. Myself, Smoking Jim Frazier, on our 4 platforms. The hottest podcast on right now on Tuesday nights is Sports Corner with myself and Smoking Jim Frazier. Wednesday night, Talking Wrestling with myself and Smoking Jim Frazier. Another hot show that is also hot on one of the best wrestling podcasts in the nation. Is right here on Talking Wrestling with myself and Smoking Jim Frazier. Also on Thursday night, we have Wrestling and Sports Talk with myself, Smoking Jim Frazier, and Mark Mancini from Los Angeles, California. We talk wrestling, sports, and a lot more on Wrestling Sports Talk on Blog Talk Radio. To tune into the show and listen to it, 347-205-9631. The External Bum will be on this Saturday, 9:30 p.m. Myself, our guest Joe Kuglis will be joining us, as well as Avi Greenwald, myself, and Mark Mancini. The 4 of us, we talk about bums in sports, and we also talk other sporting events going on in the current United States of America. All right, I am Ralph Williams. This has been The Way I See It. Everyone have a great night, and thank you for watching. Have a good one. I'll talk to you next week here on The Way I See It. Have a good one. Good night.